So, Teen Titans Go to the Movies is a brand new movie that is based off the Teen Titans Go show, which is based off the 2003 Teen Titans show also. This movie received, I guess, some backlash because, of course, a lot of people of the original Teen Titans, of course, did not like this reboot of Teen Titans Go back in 2014, I believe, was when it was first released. And when they announced the movie, or when it officially was shown off, the earlier this year, I mean, everybody would say, why does this have a movie and why does it have a theatrical release of a movie, anyways? But so how is Teen Titans Go to the movies? It's actually really good, I would have to say. So the movie is mostly based around, of course, the Teen Titans, the new Teen Titans. Uh, Mostly Robin, the leader, wants to have his own movie, as all the other DC superheroes are getting their own movie. While they see these movies and all, they don't really have that option to have their own movie because they don't really have their own staple villain to them, anyways. And it is mostly Robin's dream to have his own movie and all. So, this story is just rather silly. So, pretty much the main villain that they have or are looking for, anyways, um, who would be Slade, or as everyone knows, Deathstroke, who is voiced by Will Arnett, and I have to say he does a quite phenomenal job of doing his impression of Slade, or Deathstroke, anyways. I had little to zero expectations going into this movie. I assumed, okay, maybe it's just going to be like the show. And regards to the show, I am one of those people that did grow up with the original Teen Titans, but I'm not one of those people when they release Teen Titans Go. I actually see that it's kind of a good reboot of a show, anyways. I don't have anything against it. I watch it from time to time, and I have to say it's actually quite good and actually a little more faithful to the DC comics than the original Teen Titans. So when this movie was announced, I thought, okay, maybe this should be interesting. Again, it's a theatrical release of a show that is a reboot of a show which a lot of people prefer more of. And yeah, I have to say, going into this, I did not know what I was going to expect. Well, I kind of did. I expected it to be kind of like the show. I thought they were just going to use, the same gags and the same jokes and all that. Some of the jokes are good. Some of them are, kiddish. The jokes in the movie worked. It did work for what it was. The movie is great as it is, anyways. If you've watched the Teen Titans Go show, you know the kind of humor, the kind of slapstick comedy that they kind of do, anyways. This has it and it raises it more. This movie works with what it knows what it is, and it goes with it and it works. It's not trying to be too much. It's just, if you've seen Teen Titans Go, you pretty much know what you're getting yourself into, but with a bigger budget and a longer time length. This movie was about an hour and a half, I want to say. It didn't feel too long and it didn't feel too short. It felt like some parts were like, okay, this actually might feel like a short movie. It actually extended more to what it wanted to do, of course. I have to give it props. I mean, voice cast wise, it's the original Teen Titans Go, and of course the original Teen Titans voice cast, of course. Again, I am applauding Will Arnett as his portrayal of Slade, the main villain of this movie. And then it does have those nice voice cast that it has. Of course, with the news before, Nicolas Cage being Superman, um, we all know he was supposed to be Superman back in the 90s or early 2000s. I don't remember specifically. His part was pretty good. Um, and you had some other hidden voice talents. I mean, you had Halsey, you had Little Yachty, which is surprising as Green Lantern, which it's interesting. The negatives I will give, though, while they are, they have great casting and all that kind of stuff, there was a little too many characters, and they, for the many actors that they had, they really did not have a very big speaking role in the movie. I mean, they're not important, but it's kind of like, oh, I know that voice, but then that's it. I do have to applaud. They really go with the Teen Titans Go animation and go beyond that. I know they have like those small little segments where they kind of do little themes and skits and all of that. They really did it in a lot of their small segments, and I actually enjoyed that. It's not just the Teen Titans Go animation that they just use. They use a lot of different kind of effects and animation styles and all that, and I really applaud it for that. I mean, there was one. I will have to note though, this has a lot of musical numbers, which I was surprised on. Um, some of them worked. One really stood out, and I was impressed by it. Um, and some of them were kind of like they were just there, I guess. This movie really appeals to I guess a wide range of audience. Really, I mean, yes, it's based on, I guess, a kids show. Mostly the demographic that would watch Teen Titans Go is mostly kids. And then other than that, of course, you're going to have your families, your parents. And then when I watched it, there were actually a couple of, people around my age, actually, like in their 20s and all that were watching it. And I was surprised. I thought I was going to be the only person that was going to watch it by myself in my age. And, people would think of me like, oh, why is that person in their 20s watching a kids movie? No, there's actually more people that were around my age that were actually watching it also. Um, this movie kind of appeals to not just kids, but to parents, and then also those that are maybe into the DC comics, the show, the Teen Titans Go show, and probably also the original Teen Titans show, of course. And yeah, I mean, I'm surprised how much Warner Brothers really put into this. There are a lot of gags that I find, or they actually are kind of silly and funny. They really, Warner Brothers animation did a really good job with poking fun at itself, like with, Lego Batman and the Lego movie. They could have done more, but they didn't. That's fine, I suppose. And they, of course, make fun of other, I guess, other superheroes not part of the DC comics, I would want to say, which is fine, I suppose. Some negatives that I will say, yes, again, it is a kid show. There are, I guess, kiddish, kiddie jokes, I would want to say. I mean, there are jokes that I thought, okay, that's funny. It isn't as laugh as loud like Lego Batman or the Lego movie or anything like that. It's, but it was fun. And then some jokes were kind of just for kids, and you're kind of there like, okay, I mean, the kids laugh. That's what matters. And then there were some jokes that, as an adult, anyways, you would say, okay, that's actually pretty funny. But I mean, that's not really a big negative. As long as it's an entertaining movie, anyways, yeah, then I guess it's kind of a neutral kind of joke wise to me, anyways. It's kind of a negative, but it's not much of a big negative to really stand out or anything. I guess my other negative really would have to be, I guess, just the villain Slade. It's still really a personal kind of issue. It really isn't a big issue with anything. Um, so Slade is, again, the villain of the movie, which the Teen Titans, I guess, mostly fight since they need, I guess, an arch nemesis to have their own movie, which is mostly just the whole plot of the story, I guess. They mostly need some kind of villain or some kind of arch nemesis so they can have a villain for themselves, so they can have their own movie. My negative isn't really a big one, I would have to say. It's just with Slade, you know him more as a mercenary kind of character. I mean, he's a villain. He's sometimes an anti-villain, sometimes an anti-hero, I'd have to say. He was a little more silly. And I mean, I like that. I understand. It's a kids movie and all that. I kind of wish they put more personality to his original self, I would want to say. But this movie just bases itself on the humor and the slapstick and the kind of make fun of itself kind of humor, to where I guess to myself, Deathstroke is my favorite character or favorite villain in the DC universe. I kind of wanted to be more diabolical instead of a cliche. They kind of make him like a he wants to rule the world's cliche villain, I guess, but in a silly twist where he's humorous in a way. He doesn't feel that dangerous, I would want to say. It again, it's just me, really. But those are mostly my two negatives, I would have to say. They're not huge issues, anyways. They're just more. It's just mostly a personal pet peeve, I would want to say. Overall, this movie is a good time, silly kids movie, I would want to say. It is not that long. It's entertaining for the hour and a half that it has, and I will see it was enjoyable. It's not something I would say, oh my gosh, I have to watch it over and over again. No, it feels like an episode of Teen Titans Go, and I do appreciate that. They're really keeping to what makes them Teen Titans Go. I enjoyed that. I do enjoy Teen Titans Go. Some of it felt too kiddish, and I really don't want that to be a negative, because I mean, it is a kids show and all of that, or it's a kids movie based on a kids show. Really, there was just so much with such little time, and I kind of wanted more, I suppose, but I can't really, you can't really say anything about that. Um, so for this review, I would have to give this movie an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I don't want to say I loved it, but I really did enjoy this movie, and I would recommend a good laugh for sure. And for those, that are really into the DC universe, uh, Warner Brothers did a really good job with keeping true to itself and also having fun with it. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed this film, and I would definitely enjoy it. So now, after this, I'm mostly going to talk about the spoilers. There are surprisingly big spoilers, which is kind of why I would recommend this movie. So I hope you enjoyed this section of this review, and I hope to see you on the spoilers side. So thanks a bunch for watching, and I will see you then. Okay, so I am back now with a spoiler section. It is actually kind of big-ish spoilers, I guess. It's kind of just been news that has been going around already since yesterday, since today is Friday while recording this. So mid-credit wise, I'm just gonna go straight into it. Mid-credit wise, we have like a 20-30 second small little teaser with the original Teen Titans kind of trying to like push out a distress signal and saying that they found a way back, which it kind of hints that we may be getting a new season of the original Teen Titans, the original 2003 Teen Titans. And I have to say, okay, I mean, that's all I can say, really. As a fan of the original Teen Titans, I mean, everyone who's been a fan of the original Teen Titans knows, like, we wanted another season of Teen Titans. We wish it wasn't canceled. With this mid-credits scene, since, someone that would watch this movie and then they're kind of with the original Teen Titans, like the whole animation and everything like that, saying that they may have found a way back, you kind of think, okay, maybe Warner Brothers actually might be working or might greenlit another season of Teen Titans. That would be great. Everybody would want to watch that since nobody wants to watch Teen Titans Go anyways. So probably what they're trying to do is like, hey, if you want another season of Teen Titans, tell your friends that there's a secret about the Teen Titans or a small little teaser of it, and go watch the movie. If you want us to make another season of Teen Titans, tell them to go watch the movie and see the teaser for themselves. Maybe with whatever gross that they make, hopefully will fund the original Teen Titans season. And I mean, the original cast is there, obviously, from the original Teen Titans cast, being the Teen Titans Go cast. I mean, everybody's still there, so why not? Or, I mean, again, that's just speculation. Anyways, but it's just surprising to see that, oh, maybe we will get uh, another, or maybe at least a final season of Teen Titans, I want to say. But, I would be excited for that. I really would. But it's really going to have to be up to DC and Warner Brothers on what exactly that means, I guess. And so, yeah, other spoiler-wise, there's a running gag about how to solve all their problems, and it's by Raven using her portals, I guess. It wasn't a great joke, and they kind of used that as a running gag, and it wasn't that funny, and it kind of grew stale after the numerous times that they've touched on it, and I was kind of like, okay, I mean, it wasn't really funny the first time. They really could have had some other running gags, I guess. But I mean, there were some other funnier jokes aside. I think probably the most funniest joke in this movie is probably the darkest joke. So pretty much, in order for the Teen Titans to have their own movie, Jade Wilson, the director of all of these superhero movies, kind of hints to the Teen Titans that she would give them their own movie if there weren't any other superheroes. So, what the Teen Titans do is time travel back and I guess kind of save all of the superheroes from their past trauma, which made them into superheroes. And I thought that was funny. It kind of put some minutes into this movie because I think without this segment, it would lose like maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and it would be much lesser than an hour and a half movie. But it was still very funny, and so they pretty much the jokes were like they saved Superman by saving his planet. They saved they I don't want to say they saved Aquaman, but they actually polluted the water so there won't be any Aquaman. So pretty much he died. I think the favorite joke of mine was that with Batman, they instead pushed his parents to go not into Crime Alley, but like into a safer, bright alleyway so they wouldn't die and all that. And so once they go back into the future, um, into their time period, it turns out without any superheroes, there's their city would be pretty much in ruins and all, and it's pretty much just havoc and supervillains everywhere, and it's just hilarious. So they have to go back in time again to reverse what they did, meaning they pretty much cause Krypton to explode. They saved Aquaman. They didn't bully Wonder Woman. That's the one I forgot. And then probably the darkest one, which was my favorite joke, was instead of help um, Batman's parents not die, they pretty much just pushed them into Crime Alley and they died. And it's very dark, but that pretty much got the most laughs out of the theater. Which comes to my negative about this movie. As I was saying, there are some running gags and all of that, especially in the trailers. Uh, when they meet Slade, they assume that he's Deadpool from Marvel and all of that, and it kind of becomes, I guess, a running joke, assuming that there's that Slade is Deadpool. They want him to make funny or rude jokes. Um, I mean, they kind of go in that direction with Slade instead of just being like this hard mercenary kind of person. So they make him kind of silly, kind of goofy-ish, and he does break the fourth wall. This whole movie kind of just breaks the fourth wall a lot for their jokes, and with, I guess it's kind of ironic because back with the original Teen Titans, Warner Brothers or Cartoon Network or something, uh, they thought the name Deathstroke would be too scary for kids and all of that. So instead of calling Slade Deathstroke in the Teen Titans show, they've just been going with Slade. And with this movie, they go with Slade and also not Deathstroke, which I think is ironic because they keep referring him as Deadpool, your rated R movie and your Merc with the mouth, and they still don't use Deathstroke. And I kind of thought, like, that's, it's not a huge negative, but it's kind of just like, if you're gonna make jokes about that, why not just call him Deathstroke? I suppose. What I always thought, we know the character Jade Wilson in the trailers, the director who want are is refusing to make the Teen Titans movie. My impression originally was thought, okay, this is probably just a made up name for Slade's daughter, Rose Wilson. Turns out I completely forgot this is actually still canon to the show. And so, I mean, all of the original villains have already been used from the Teen Titans Go show and all of that. And they already used Rose Wilson in the Teen Titans Go show. So they couldn't use her again because, I mean, it would kind of break, like, oh, they already know who Rose Wilson, or Ravager, as they know them anyways. They've already used her character, so they can't really use her character again. And it turns out that Jade Wilson is just Slade in a mask while he wears his mask. I thought that was just really silly and dumb. I really thought, because I just assumed, okay, I mean, you can see this a mile away, the plots, what's going to happen, everything like that. For some reason, I just expected Jade Wilson to be Rose Wilson and stuff, but no, I was completely wrong. It was Slade wearing his mask, wearing a mask to be Jade Wilson. It's something silly. Like, they made a joke, or Robin made a joke, like, So you wore a mask over your mask. Wouldn't that make you sweaty? And Slade was saying, well, yeah, I have a whole bunch of rashes on this under anyways. And I thought it was silly. I thought it was kind of dumb, but I mean, I really should have expected that, I guess. As I was saying before, with the casting, it's great casting. There are a lot of voice cameos and cameos in this movie. Again, as I said, Nicolas Cage was Superman. Jimmy Kimmel was Batman, supposedly. Yet he had little to no voice lines or anything. So you wouldn't even know Jimmy Kimmel played Batman. I mean, okay. Um, Will Wheaton was the Flash. He only had like one or two lines, and they were just really quick, and that was it. Patton Oswalt was the Atom. He had one or two lines. I did not recognize that. I think the most silliest cameo that was in this movie was Stan Lee. Stan Lee has two cameo. He makes two cameo appearances as himself, and it is silly. It is hilarious. I thought it was funny. It was just, I guess, a joke, with him being in all these Marvel movies. Why not just put him in a DC movie? I guess it's rather funny. I think it's rather silly, I guess, and a lot of people enjoyed that. They're like, "Oh, that's hilarious!" That Stan Lee is in another superhero doing another cameo and all of that. That's mostly it. I mean, just mostly the big surprise of the Teen Titans supposedly reboot of the next season, and all of these small little cameos, pretty much. I mean, if I'm missing anything, sorry. I mean, there wasn't really much to this movie, I guess. Again, there could have been more, but with such a short running time, you kind of did want more, I suppose. I think, well, with more cameos, not voice cameos, anyways, I really appreciated that there was smaller characters from, more DC comic stuff. They showed a lot of more superheroes, and I really enjoyed that. I mean, Martian Manhunter was in it. Miss Martian was actually in it, which was great. Just a small little, oh, they're there for those that recognize these characters. Hawkman was in it. Swamp Thing had a small little role, I guess. Two-Face, Jonah Hex, they all they all were there, and I like those small details in this movie, and it made me chuckle. It's like they really put into this, and I appreciate that a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of this, and thank you so much for watching this, and hopefully you enjoyed this review, and I hope to see y'all again. And yeah, thanks so much. Bye, guys.